Welcome into the Holton Ayler Show. Got a special edition for you. Hope you enjoy the show. If not, as always.
Holton Ayler turns, and Holton will take off and run himself. He's at the 40-yard line. Holton Ayler's to the 30. Look at him go! 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Pirates!
There's local politics, bud.
It's showtime!
And welcome back in. Boys, we're sitting... Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and say it. We're sitting with QB1. I believe QB1. So you are endorsed by us. Welcome into the show, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.
Dude, let's go. Time flies. I remember sitting with you in your recruiting visit when you were in Big John's office talking to you, and now the season's about here, getting ready for camp. How do you feel going in, kind of finishing the summer and then going into camp?
I feel really good. I feel like as a team, as an offense, we're really coming together, really tighten the bolts, if you will, just getting everybody ready for camp. So I'm excited to get rolling on camp, but summer's been going really well, really been progressing. So
you're
excited.
Going from the Big Ten, which is cold, slow, run the ball offenses, to the East Coast, really. And then, an up-tempo offense and this offense, aggressive defense and your defense. Like, how much is of a difference will it be, do you think, like adjusting to the speed of the game? Look, I know Big Ten's fast, but they're more like big and physical, whereas this league is more, small and fast.
Yeah, it's been different for sure. Playing the Big Ten, the game speed's really high, but as far as like the offense and everything, it's pretty slow. It's Big Ten football. It's pound the rock, high play calls, like really a lot before the ball snapped, and I feel like it's totally different here because we're going so fast, and there's not a lot of time pre-snap to really figure out what the defense is doing. You just got to roll and get the ball in players' hands. So it's definitely going to be an adjustment, and I'm excited to get rolling. So I'm
excited to watch you, dude. The hype around this year from a team that went 2-10 last year is insane.
Yeah.
So we're excited to watch you, dude. Obviously, they're going to put a lot on your shoulders with this offense and John David Baker's high-tempo offense. I remember the first thing that Coach Houston told me is like, look, it's an easy offense, but there's going to be a lot on the quarterback. You're still a young quarterback in a way. I mean, you've played in some big games, but you're still a young quarterback in your career. What makes you think you could be successful? Like, even when you were getting recruited here, like, what stuck out about this offense that makes you think you can be successful in it?
I mean, it came from offense where we're really run heavy, so I didn't feel like I got my talent used as much as possible as far as the throwing side. So I feel like this offense and this environment, being able to use my arm and my ability to put the ball down the field is something that I'm going to be able to go to in game and have confidence in doing. And I'm excited to go do that. So that's why I feel like this is the place to be, and I'm excited to be here.
Let's go. Okay, what do you got?
I actually put all my calls today about 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern, so I could play the new game. Just curious, you got in the EA college football yet?
Not yet. I keep seeing the videos. All my teammates are doing and stuff, and I've been seeing videos. I saw my rating already. Like, I'm excited to go play it. So it's really exciting. I mean, as a kid, I literally had the copy of the NCAA 14. I was doing the Road to Glory, like envisioning myself doing that. And now that I'm actually in the game, it's really surreal. It's awesome. I can't wait to go play it, honestly.
Kind of pissed. I played 5 years and
I know.
Didn't get
tough. It's terrible.
How much of it is you're new, but you also got a new offense coordinator. The defense is all kind of back. We talked to Big Tay last week about pushing you guys, and he said not like last year that you guys are pushing back for the first time, kind of being chippy. You got a young OC. Like, this summer gets chippy, and I've been out there. Like, I know now the coaches are out there a little bit more, but like these 7-on-7 and OTAs, like, it'll get chippy. Has anything like that happened yet?
Yeah, it's tough because you're not really doing like real football. You don't have the pads on. You're not hitting.
It's all
like
talk.
That. So
it's
all talk, and you're doing like a walkthrough, and we're like, all right, defense, we're gonna go half speed. All right, guys, half speed. And you have like Big Tay or JD running full speed off the line. Like, all right, I sacked you. I'm like, well, it's a walkthrough. So that's the kind of thing you're struggling with, and that's what itching to put pads on to start playing because that's when it gets real. So
there's many fights in my career with those guys, especially when they were young. When they come in talking, I'm like, dude, you do not sack me first of all. But they haven't seen you. So that Big Tay was saying it last week. He was like, I haven't seen him get hit yet, and
that's true. Yeah.
Game one's going to be huge, and like we said before, you haven't been named the starter, but we believe, and a lot of people believe you'll be the starter. So we're excited about that. Game one, Norfolk State. It's last year they played Michigan game one, so obviously it's a huge difference from that. But it will be a good opportunity for you to go in front of fans and show what you can do. And I'm not downplaying Norfolk State at all, but like if you can go out there and put up points and make throws, and people are going to be thrilled about it because one thing about this town is they're passionate whether you lose or win. So I learned that the hard way early on in my career. And
your freshman year we lost to A&T.
Yeah, I wasn't playing. That was the only game of my college career I didn't play. When you when you were in Michigan State last year, like how is the town there? Because like this town in ECU is like ECU is literally everything.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan State fans, it's totally different. I feel like they really want their team to win, so it's either you're doing well or you're getting ridiculed on social media stuff. I had to deal with that stuff last year, and I feel like with ECU, like no matter what we do, we're gonna have support from the fans. So I feel like that love and that support from the fan base is totally different. So yeah, it's good to be a Pirate right now.
No, 100%, and I think as long as you do good, they're going to love you.
No doubt.
But, I was from here, and you will face – I mean, there's going to be dumb fans wherever you go. And like, but there is – ECU fans are loyal. And if they know you give everything, then, like, they'll appreciate you. But one recommendation I would have is, like, find a place – and this is something I kind of learned later in my career – is, like, find a place where you can go and not be the starting quarterback. Like, mine was church. I went to Open Door Church in town, and, like, Thursdays, that was my thing. That was, like, the one place where, like, people really wouldn't bother me. I would just go sit in the corner with – my girlfriend and my friends, a couple of my teammates, and we would just go and sit and felt like normal people. So find a place in town. It can be like somewhere that's just you can just be a normal college student. No one talks to you because that's a big deal. You need to decompress, and I'm sure you learned that last year. Like college football compared to high school is different, especially when you lose.
Yeah, no doubt. Like even like deleting social media and just kind of staying off that during the season has been big. Just kind of being away from it because that's all poison to me. I feel like you can't look into that stuff. So yeah. That's
just the world you live in. You've been NIL. You were an NIL kid from the start, like ever since you got to college. It was all NIL.
Yeah, just about. I just got right into when it just started. So yeah.
Cool. How much when you entered the portal? How much like NIL was thrown at you? You don't got to give numbers. But like how much did that come into your decision, or was it more like a long-term play for you?
Yeah, it's kind of a long-term thing. I felt like the money in the NIL stuff is kind of deceptive, almost like they're trying to throw stuff at you when I really just wanted to be appreciated as a player and stuff like that. And I feel like that stuff will coming down the road as long as I play. So, the biggest thing in the portal was just for me, just finding a place where I can go and develop and play, and then that stuff will come later, honestly.
Good. You have the right mindset, dude, because NFL money and NIL money are two different things. I promise you. I was sitting here worried. I wasn't worried, but like summer going into my senior year, like was when NIL was like kind of picking up, and I was like, dude, I can kind of get some stuff here. And I'm looking back, I'm like, dude, what was I thinking? Yeah. Like, just get to the NFL and get the money. Caden, what do you got?
This time of year, I think everyone forgets. The fans are excited for the season. This time of year for the players, though, it's a hard time of year. You got your summer workouts, you got your runs in the morning, runs in the afternoons. How's Big John killing you guys right now?
He's been doing good. I mean, it's been tough. I mean, can't lie, it's been tough. Especially like when it's humid and hot outside. Like you walk outside, you're like, oh my god, let's go run right now. So it's been good though. Like at the start, you kind of get your ass kicked a little bit, but then we've been doing it for so long now. I feel like I'm in the best like conditioning shape of my life. I feel like I can go out and run 15 110s, 20 110s that we've been doing. So they've been killing us, but it's been good. I feel like we're all in shape, and it's going to get us ready for this offense where we go high tempo in games. So yeah, I feel like it's all come together.
Did the weather in Eastern North Carolina kick your tail compared to Michigan?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, it's totally different. I was not. They were saying it to me, and I'm like, all right, yeah, no problem. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, this is real. This is real. I can't breathe when I'm running.
Are you guys doing those 300s at all?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think we got them tomorrow actually. Now you said that, yeah. So
the hardest part is Holton. I would always like run hard with Holton, but I wasn't running like really to compete against you. Where like you probably have someone you're running to compete against. I was running to earn a scholarship. That's why I worked my tail off. Where it's kind of like you were running to compete against Reed, and then what is that like that for each workout? Like are you guys in the same workout? You and Jake?
Yeah, I mean we're always trying to compete. So I'll either go with him or someone like a fast receiver, somebody to try to challenge myself, try to make myself faster.
See, you can't take any runs off.
No doubt.
That's tough. I'm not going to lie.
It's tough in the summer.
There's many times. When Caden was there, he was like a track star for some reason. So many times 300s would come up. He'd be taking off. So I had to like literally learn how to do it because if not, our OC at the time would come out and be like, what the hell are you doing? You're the second quarterback finish? I'm like, bro, come on. Y'all running 110s now, though? We really didn't run 110s.
I think we ran 2110s last Friday.
I don't mind 110s. I'd rather run 110s than 300s.
I'd rather run straight. It's the back and forth that gets me, man. I don't know.
Let's talk about the playmakers. Y'all got quite a few coming in, and then they're all new to you because you weren't here last year. What guys have stood out, and like what guys have you built relationships with? I mean, clearly all of them, but like what are some guys that have stood out that fans can look forward to this fall?
I keep saying Anthony Smith has been really good. He just came in from NC State. I feel like me and him have a really good connection, even spring game and throughout the whole spring practices. I feel like we've definitely had a connection. Winston Wright as well in the slot came in from Florida State. We kind of came in at the same time, and I feel like I built a really good reputation and connection with him, and even Chase. I mean, Chase has been here, so it's good to talk with him and have his experience from last year, and him coming from Colorado, kind of have similar experiences, and then just building that connection, even on the weekends, just throwing just one-on-ones by ourselves and just getting that work in extra. It's been really coming together when we go into practice.
I was told, I'm not going to say who said it, but I asked how Winston Wright was doing because I tried to get him to come here when he went to Florida State.
Yeah.
I tried to recruit him to get him to come here my senior year. And someone said he walks around like Randy Moss.
He does.
I was like, what does that even mean?
He does. That's accurate. I never heard that.
Yeah, they were like, he walks around like he's Randy Moss. I was like, okay. I hope he plays like Randy Moss.
Do you feel like you have a go-to guy yet?
Not yet. I feel like I have a lot of guys that are really reliable, but I don't feel like I have a guy yet. So to be determined.
When you come from Big Ten, which is big, huge offensive linemen, like, look, it's no knock on what ECU is, but ECU in the past hasn't had great offensive line. When you see our offensive line, like, what do you think? You know, who are some guys that have stepped up in the leadership role?
I think we have a lot of veteran guys, which is good. We're not a young O-line group, so I feel like we have guys that have been through a lot of things, and especially adapting to new offenses and stuff like that. I feel like they're going to be really good for us as far as leadership. I feel like Dustin Hall, our center, is really good. He's been here for a while, just transferring over and stuff. He's been in the college scene for a while, so he's been able to kind of help younger guys, pull them along too. I feel like Parker Moore. He's a really good leader for us in the offensive line. So I feel like those kind of guys being able to help the younger guys and help the unit as a whole has been really good. So I can really lean on those guys for sure.
Yeah, Dustin's really smart. I'm glad he decided to come back, dude. One thing that I learned later in my career, which I would suggest to you, and I don't know if Coach Houston already has mentioned it to you, was like Wednesday nights after practice, I would get the starting center at least. Sometimes it's hard to get the backups to come. And y'all literally just watch film on the previous practice, but really not even the previous practice as much as the team you're playing that week, and do like mic IDs and all that.
Yeah.
Run IDs. Because then, especially when you're younger in your career, dude, like I learned it later in college. I went to the Manning Passing Academy and with Peyton Manning, and he just started talking about it. I did it through there, and it opens up the whole new game. And the center relationship, too, because there's times like in games where the clock's going down, like you might want to mic re-ID, but you don't got time. You got to trust that your center has the same mind you do.
Yeah.
And if y'all meet those Wednesday nights, man, dude, it'll change everything for you.
Yeah, that's what I've been kind of growing on. That's a good point to kind of meet with them and stuff. But just understand the offense like back of your hand, like every block, everybody's job in every single play. So it just makes it easier when you go into a game, understanding what has to be completed on each play. So yeah.
The quarterback and center is huge, and that's like when I got to the NFL, like Gino and Drew Lock we would do that Thursday nights, which would be Wednesday nights for college. But Gino would keep us there till like 10:30 at night. I'm like, bro, come on, we don't got to be here this long.
Man.
But really, like you learn, and then by the end of the season, you'll know what the left guard's supposed to do on stuff, and you'll be able to not only mic like pass protection, but also run game and stuff like that. Because there's times when they don't see everything either, and then if Dustin does go down, like who steps into that role? Like my senior year, Hampton, our center entered the portal, and Hampton had to go play center. I didn't even blink because I had met with him a bunch of times, and I knew that. I mean, he's a great guy too. So that's just something I would recommend is doing that. And then one thing younger in my career advice, Coach Houston told me to tell you some advice, by the way. So I'm not just thinking about this.
I should have brought my notepad. I feel bad now.
Is don't overdo film. Early in my career, dude, I overdid film so much.
He told me that about you.
Yes, because I just love watching it. So like I could watch it now and sit here and talk about it, and I would overdo film. And then same thing, I met with Peyton Manning, and like we just talked, and he was like, by Thursdays as a quarterback, like you should be done with film. So like I would watch the Thursday practice, and then I would go through red zone one more time, and then I'd be done with opponent film.
Yeah.
And then that's something where you spend that time of just decompressing too, because you don't need film all the time, and it may seem like it's good, but it's not.
Yeah.
And learning how to watch film is huge, dude. And, I don't know if you figured out the defense yet. Y'all play a little bit different, but if you watch the Sam nickel is same person, and the two safeties, it'll tell you.
Yeah, it's like a string. They're all attached.
Yeah, they all can't lie. So I figured out that my senior year in camp, and well, he's not here anymore, but Coach Weaver came up to me and was like, "You're stealing our signals, man." I was like, "No, I'm not. It's very easy."
Yeah.
How has been your relationship with Coach Houston? Because that's a big one, and that is something that grew. We were talking off air, like when he first got there, I was a little weirded out by him because he was like military style.
Yeah.
How's your relationship with him so far?
It's been really good. I mean, I came from Michigan State where I had a head coach that I committed, went up to his office, shook his hand, said hi, whatever, and then I don't think I've ever been to his office since. Maybe to like after the season, like a post-season interview, but never like had that personal relationship with him. So I feel like I thought that was normal until I met Coach Houston and began that personal relationship where he was just like, if you need anything, if you need to come talk to me, like I'm here in my office, just come up and talk to me. And I didn't really think of that. And then when I'm struggling through stuff, like plays or dealing with people on the team and stuff like that, being able to go talk to him is something that's been really helpful for me. So having him as an outlet for me to go talk to and just building that personal relationship is really going to help me on the field with that trust. So yeah, I'm really thankful for Coach.
No, yeah, he's a great dude, and like you'll even more appreciate it like when games come in. Like God forbid y'all do lose a game, like he's the guy who knows how to like get in the quarterback's head in the right way and be able to talk to you and reach that. Because like something that someone told me early in my career was like the starting quarterback and the head coach can never have a bad day. And it's like you walk in there, no matter if it's after a loss, like people can't know. If you get sacked 20 times, the offensive line shouldn't be able to see if you act any different towards them. That's just being a quarterback and knowing that. And that's something like you're so early in your career, you probably already learned last year because like losing, you learn stuff a lot quicker than you do winning.
No doubt.
When you think of this upcoming season, like what are some goals, personal goals and team goals that you have?
Team goal is to win the conference. I feel like we have a chance to do that, and I feel like that's a realistic goal. I think we can do that. I think we win the conference. Definitely playoff. I feel like that's a possibility too. I mean, there's endless possibilities with this team. So, and then personal goal, I just want to be a leader for this team. I just want to be just an outlet for these guys to help bring each other along and just kind of help guys around me. So yeah, just being a leader.
Kane, you got anything?
I think I asked Big Tay this last week. He said App State. What game are you like circling the calendar? I know for a quarterback you got to focus on them all, but let's be real. When we played Carolina, we all were looking forward to Carolina. When we played State, looking forward to State. But like for you, which one? If you had to circle one, which one are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I think App State's the big one. I mean, I watched all the videos from last year, and when they stormed the field and stuff, I feel like there's some animosity there and rivalry. So I feel like that's going to be a big game, especially at home. That's the one that's the one I gotta go hard on that one. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
That is kind of like a new in-state one. The one I'm looking forward to, I know it doesn't matter, but I'm looking forward to Liberty.
Yeah.
They have a high-power offense.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see if our defense shows up again like last year, and then, of course, we can put more than 17 points on the board.
Yeah.
We'll go be the best quarterback on the field that day because everyone's hyping up the Liberty guy.
No
that
doubt.
already makes me mad, and I'm not even playing anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, come on, dude. They're hyping him up way too much. Your film study, like during the week, have you met with John David Baker yet on like kind of what he wants? Because some OCs like when quarterbacks have a say-so and like you go through the script and all that and you go through the call sheet and you're like, what are your favorites on third down? Have y'all even got that far yet in the process?
Not yet, but a good thing that I feel like we've been doing is he's been kind of like, especially with all the quarterbacks, like what do you guys like? What plays do you like? What concepts do you like? So he'll be, especially when we go through summer, he'll just ask us like what are we liking on certain days and like what concepts we feel like we're doing the best at. So it's easy to communicate with him and then he can kind of scheme the offense around our skill set. So I feel like that's been really good. So that's kind of like the start of it.
I would say communication is key with that because like I've had OCs that like when you say, all right, what are your favorite out of these third downs and you get a pick. So then like when you get the first 3rd and 4, you're like, I already know this place is my bread and butter. How many like option like is this more of like a true vertical choice offense or is this more of just like one receiver option like choice routes? Like is there multiple receivers having choices each time?
Yeah, it's like a true deep choice.
Nice.
4 receivers. Like we're gonna put our guys out there try to stop us kind of deal.
Let's
so
go.
It's exciting.
How's Rajay been?
He's been good. Yeah, he's been helping out younger guys and he's been a leader for us for sure. So he's been doing good.
Right.
Funniest thing I saw, I turned on the game today, right? 4 o'clock came, and I played NC State versus East Carolina. You just had to. And I was just like, all right, let me pause the game, look at the ratings. Guess what they had Rajay's speed at? 91.
No.
He was faster than Gunn.
Than Marlon?
Yeah. He was fast. He's the fastest running back we had. I was like, no way.
Rajay? What's Bond? How's he doing? JV's Bond.
He's doing good, man. He can
say
fly.
he's
I don't know what
fast.
his speed. His speed's
90.
got to be insane.
He was a 90.
Yeah.
Rajay was faster than them all. I was like, they messed this up.
Rajay. 91 speed. Sorry, Rajay. I'm just
Shout out Rajay, man.
No, we're
He's
just
a
messing.
power back. He's not a speed back.
Oh, he's going to take that personal now.
Yeah.
He's going to tweet us at us on the show now. Coach Farmer. Coach Farmer never gets any love. We try to hype him up a lot. He's like the quarterback guru with arm care and stuff like that. Talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I have a personal trainer back home that is kind of doing like arm care and stuff and pliability and stuff like that. And I kind of talked to Coach Farmer about that, and he's well-educated and all that kind of stuff too. So being able to go in the weight room and kind of do individual stuff like, hey, I need to work on my spine a little bit. I need to work on my rotation, my shoulder. And he's got something dialed up for me. He can put me through a workout with like that quick. So he's been really good for me, just kind of expanding my game and making me a better quarterback. So shout out Coach Farmer.
He's kind of a guy that's like intimidating.
That's when I first got there. I'm like, who is this guy? I went on to talk to this guy, and now I'm like asking questions every single day about what can I do to do this and do that.
You get him to smile finally?
Yeah. Well, every once in a while.
Yeah, I was about to say, dude, it took me like 2 years to get him because I was young, I was fiery at the time, and we would get into it a couple of times.
Yeah.
Like when you're losing, it's tough anyways. But then once we started winning, he turned around. Our relationship was good. When you have you spent some time with Aaron Hour?
Yeah,
he's extremely smart.
Oh yeah, he's great.
If you can, do y'all ever do a lot of board work? Like I know some OCs are big on that. Like, do y'all get on the board at all, or is it
occasionally?
more...
Yeah, we'll drop some plays, stuff like that. Yeah,
we if you ever want someone who's really good with like fronts and coverages and stuff, dude, Aaron Hour's a genius when it comes to stuff like that. So, dude, we're excited to watch you play. Caden, Earl, y'all got anything else? Or we got a couple questions from the fans. Earl, what are the questions from the fans?
Yeah, the first one we got here is from Destry Sparks. Says, ask if he's had a chance to visit the Outer Banks or Fort Macklin Park in Atlantic Beach. Also, I highly advise he try a shrimp burger at Parker's Barbecue with a little ketchup and slaw. We must assure that he experiences some of Eastern Carolina's treasures.
Fort Macon. Have you been to any of those?
No. I've been to Emerald Isle. That's about it. I haven't gone all the way up north.
That's close.
Yeah.
All right, what else do we got, Earl?
Yeah, we got a second one here from Alex Dosser saying, obviously we got to get some early EA Sports College reviews. What do you think of the stadium and the uniforms, etc. for us? How accurate do you rate the playbook they have for us?
I didn't get a chance to look at the playbook yet. I kind of saw some a little bit, but the stadium and like the colors and everything looks insane.
Yeah,
the only problem I have, okay, they put me at 230 at my weight. I've never touched 230. I'm like 215, 220, and they put me at 230. So my build's got to be insane. I got to be like enormous. Anyway, that's the only problem I have.
The best part about that is Holton's always been like 240, and he always claims he's 215. So.
Yeah,
I've never said 215. I'm not 240.
You guys are opposite. He always.
God, I couldn't imagine if I was playing that. It'd probably list me at 260. This dude's huge. Go ahead, Earl.
Yeah, the third one here. We have 4 questions. This is the third one here. Considering you played 5 top 15 defenses and one of those was a rainy game, how much do you feel like the stats from last season don't show how good you really are? Second question, how good is our wide receiver room compared to Michigan State?
Yeah, I feel like the first question, we had a lot going on last year. I feel like it just kind of was a dumpster fire a little bit, just the coach being fired. And as an offense, I feel like we didn't really have an identity. Like, we had a bunch of good players. We just didn't know how to use them in the right way. And I felt like I was kind of scrambling with just understanding the offense and being able to execute at my best with just everything that was going on. So I felt like there is some room for me to prove and something to prove. So I feel like this year is going to be big for me, just being able to go out and show what I can do. And then second part of the question, receiving core, I feel like we have some insane receivers. I feel like especially the deep threats and the speed that we have, I love my guys at Michigan State, but I feel like we got some special
Let's
here,
go.
no doubt.
Is that it, Earl?
Last one here from Dan at Yes, I Am a Pirate. Michigan State and ECU were both bottom 5 of the nation in TDs per game. Both went under 2. Under 2 per game. What went wrong on offense last year at Michigan State, and what does he see going right so far on the offense at East Carolina?
Yeah, I think just picking back off what I just said, just we didn't have an identity. I feel like was the biggest thing. Understanding like when to use certain plays and when to use certain players, and just struggling with like the run game and stuff, because the identity of the Big Ten football and Michigan State football was pound the rock and run the ball, and we felt like we could not do that at all at any point in the season. So it was a lot of relying on the pass game, which we didn't really focus on much. So that was kind of the struggle that we have here. But comparing to ECU, I feel like we have an identity. I feel like we have really good playmakers outside. We have speed on the outside. So I kind of told this already. Like we're gonna line up and we're gonna go fast. And the goal is the defense is try to stop us. Is basically our mentality. So that's kind of our identity, and that's what I'm rolling into next season. So
let's go. I'm pumped about it. Have you talked to Coach Houston at all about his philosophy on going for it on 4th down?
I have not yet. That's a good point. I got to ask him about that.
Because he's big on that in most games. And like, not that he looks at the records or the lines or anything, but a lot of games like where you're the underdog or that we were the underdog, like I would meet with him or recommend meeting with him like Thursday or Friday night, even leading up to the game Friday night, and just be like, what's the 4th down philosophy? Because if you're going for it more, then people don't need to know that, but like the whole offense doesn't need to know it, but you can know you can check it down on 3rd and 11 to go for it on 4th and 4. That would be something that I suggest, because he's very aggressive when it comes to that, especially with this new offense. I figured he definitely will be, dude. So we're pulling for you.
I appreciate it, man.
I'm pumped to watch you, man. We've heard great things about you. I mean, I've seen some of the film, so
I appreciate it, man.
if you need anything, dude, just reach out and just text me. I'm here for you. So go do it. Let's go win some games.
Yes, sir. No doubt.
For sure. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
That Katin Houser interview was brought to you by Anson Belts. I guarantee you Katin already has a few Anson Belts. Why? Because Anson Belts, Pirates, Katin Houser might be the starting quarterback of the Pirates. We certainly predict it to happen. Go to AnsonBelt.com for over 10,000 combinations of micro-adjustable holeless belts. A belt for every season. Look, classy, occasional, American flag, July 4th. Katin, they're the belt to go to.
They're all holidays. They always fit. And sadly, I actually just lost mine.
We got to get you a new one.
I know, but make sure I'm devastated because they always fit me. So I got to get some new ones. I might have to hopefully wait for the next sale, but devastated. I had to let you guys know that.
Shout out to Anson Belt for the support. Also, shout out to Worth Chiropractic, 2 convenient locations on Arlington Boulevard, 1-800-BACK-DOC. Look, Anson Belt is the belt of the Pirates. Dr. Worth is a chiropractor of the Pirates. He keeps the guys on the field. He kept me on the field. He is the guy. Everyday back and neck pain as well, not just athletes. Everything in between, he will get you back to being you. 1-800-BACK-DOC. Katin, what did you think of the interview?
That was a great interview. I'm excited. He seems pumped up for the season. It's kind of off like last week when we talked to Big Tay. You know, Big Tay was like, I like the offense. I'm excited about the offense. He kind of said the same thing about the defense. Like, you know, this time of year right now, it's very competitive. The guys are all tired of competing against each other. It's literally defense versus offense, but they both kind of like fed off each other. And it's like, you know, we're really impressed with the offense, really impressed with the defense. So it's good hearing that from both of them and the competition going on.
Everything's been said has been right so far. Look, we wanted a new OC, we got a new OC. We wanted new quarterbacks, we got new quarterbacks. Two new quarterbacks that we've heard are good. I'm excited. I mean, after talking to him, look, I've grown to know him a little bit. That was your first time kind of meeting him in person. First of all, he's a big kid, even though he said he was only 215.
I think he's 215. You're 215 and his 215.
Oh, what? But no, he does all the right, says all the right things. I'm hearing he's doing all the right things off the field too. So
you know what I loved about him?
What?
We've asked, you know, Coach Houston his goals for the season. We asked Big Tay his goals. We'll ask, you know, some other guests coming up here soon. I love that one of his stretch goals was the playoffs. Because he believes, he's kind of like us. He believes that they have a team, and I hope he's right. You know, it's good for the season, but he's like, we have some talent that's crazy here, and stretch goal, like, why not the playoffs? I love that.
I do love that too. And look, if your quarterback doesn't believe it, then the whole team isn't going to believe it. So, like, you got to have wild goals as a quarterback. You got to have lofty goals as a quarterback, and you pretty much got to make them vocal. Like, maybe not to the public, but inside that locker room, like, people got to know what the quarterback believes, what he believes, because the identity of the team is the head coach, the coordinators, and then the quarterbacks, and strength and conditioning and all that. But, like, however the quarterback is, that's how a lot of the team's going to be, especially the offensive line. That's why I try to get fiery sometimes, even in games and practice. In those summer, we talked about it, even with him right there. I was like, dude, I know it's getting fiery out there, especially with our defense, because our defense blitzes and everything's a sack during 7-on-7. That's just how it is.
And they're always talking trash.
Yeah.
They sack you when it's supposed to be half speed. They're talking trash. But that's good simulation for games, because in the summer it's just annoying. It's like, hey, we want to run through this. We want to get the speed of everything. We want to, you know, have good practice, and the defense is just chirping. But in the game, those guys are chirping as well, and it's a lot different. They're also trying to hurt you. So I think it's good simulation, you know, for a road game as well. Just chirp.
And you talk about defense talking crap during the summer and stuff like that. Big Tay literally sat there last week and said, look, I haven't seen these guys get hit yet. They don't have my respect yet. Look, I don't trust them yet until they go out there and do it. Summer means a lot, but it don't mean close to as what a game does. Until he goes out there, takes a hit, gets up and gets fiery and leads them to victories. Like, these fans, like, look, it all sounds good. And like, I wanted to correct him a little bit there, but I'm just going to let him be naive a little bit, because he was like, look, ECU fans, like, they're going to support us either way, which they will support you either way. But they're going to...
Yeah, ECU fans are great, but they will let you know. If things are going the wrong way, you'll have a select few that's always going to support you, but there's just a good amount that's going to be pissed if we're not winning and winning games.
That's why I told him, I was like, dude, just find a place where you can go and not be the ECU quarterback. Because you got to find a place where you can decompress. Because if not, then it's going to be a long season, win or lose. Like, you can go, we went 8-5 my senior year. Those 5 losses still sucked really bad. Those are still hard weeks that you got to deal with. So he's going to have to find that. And that's him being young. And look, he doesn't know any better. He's a new quarterback here. Because playing for a losing program, kind of like at Michigan State last year, like, and we know this because we were part of it early on in our careers, like when you're part of a losing program early, losing doesn't hurt as much to everyone around because they're already used to it. Whereas like now, look, ECU lost last year, but that was a 1-year thing, and people are like, all right, we have huge expectations. I mean, starting quarterback or projected starting quarterback just said he wants to make the playoff. We've heard other guys say conference championship, so like, the goals are very high for a team that went 2-10 last year.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I see the talent we picked up. I think we should only lose 2 games max. App State and Liberty would be the only 2 I would be not happy, but like, okay, we lost those. Those are competitive games. But one thing, talking like what you bring up what Big Tay said, like until they take a hit, I haven't seen anything. I agree with that. But it's also like he took hits in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Garcia took hits in the ACC, also the Big 12, SEC. So
yeah.
I know he didn't play, but he played with those SEC
they have
guys.
Played, yeah.
So it's like I like that, but then I think to myself like these are experienced guys. They've been hit by a college football player because their first time getting hit by in a college is totally different than getting hit in high school.
Yeah.
So they already adjusted to the big time hits. I guess it's more like, all right, can we put this together now?
Yeah. And, like, these guys don't realize how much pressure is really under them. And that's something I probably didn't notice when I was there. And then I look back and notice that. Like, being the quarterback at ECU is, first of all, a privilege, but also there's a lot of pressure under that, especially following a losing season, a lot of hype. Like, if you go out there and don't play well those early games, especially with a good guy behind you who's also getting hyped up, it's going to be tough. So, like, it's going to be key for him to go out there and play good, even game 1 versus Norfolk State. Like, people are going to expect him to be flawless. I'm looking at you right now in the camera. He's not going to be flawless. The offense isn't going to be flawless. Look, John David Baker, who we have on next week, has never called a game before.
Yeah.
And it's like, people seem to forget that. Yes, he from everything I'm hearing, he's legit, but he's also never called a game before. So that's going to be a huge storyline, especially early in the season.
There'll definitely be some hiccups, but it's just like, how can you adjust from that? One thing I also like him mentioning was, I kind of brought it up, but kind of the competition throughout the summer. Like, yeah, everyone's assuming, and we kind of want. I think everyone assumes and wants him to be the starter just off everything that's happened this offseason. But it's like every single rep he goes in summer, even after summer when there Sunday runs, like he has someone on his tail that wants his job, and it's always like, what's great about that is you have 2 guys that transfer and want to come in right away and play. Like, that's competition the whole year. Like, he's going to feel that competition, not even from the fans. If he's, let's say he plays poorly, everyone has a bad game, but he's going to feel that competition internally. And I always say competition drives best results. So I'm excited for that. And a little bit about that competition. It's always on the, nagging on in the back of your ear.
Yeah, I think it's like half dozen one way, half dozen another, where like, look, it can help you. It can drive you to be better. But also it can be annoying too because it is kind of nagging. It's there, and it's like, okay, everyone's going to have bad games. Everyone's going to have bad practices. Like, it doesn't need to be to the point whoever they name the starter, whether it's Caden or Jake, like, whoever is the starter, they need to let him be the starter unless he just goes out there and is horrendous because, like, you don't need to have a last year situation where the third drive of the game you're bringing someone else in. That's not beneficial for anyone.
I agree with you. But what I'm saying there is, like, totally agree with you. Like, someone needs to be named. But it's like, what's great about that is in your runs, like, that starting quarterback's not going to slack at all. Like, he's always having someone that wants his job, that's capable, highly capable, and been highly capable, whoever it is, and in their own respective ways. So that's what I love about it. It's like, I agree, they should be the starting quarterback. Probably Katin should be the starting quarterback. But it's like he always has someone there to make sure he's doing jobs.
Yeah, and then, like, it is tough. I know the summer, and like I wanted to ask him on air, but I'm not going to disrespect him. But like I know the summer's tough, and I know it's tough for him especially and Jake because like starting quarterback arranges a lot of the things during the summer, like 7-on-7 individual routes throwing. Like he was talking about him throwing with like individual guys, but like they need to get to the point where, like, when the quarterbacks are out there throwing, whether it should be at least 3 of them, the scholarship guys, and then if the walk-on's locked in like you were, like the walk-on, like, they should go out there together, and it should be the whole offense and the whole receiving core out there. And it sounded like, not in a bad way, but it sounded like he was getting a lot of extra work with, like, individual receivers at individual times, whereas, like, later in his career, he'll realize that being the starting quarterback, but also he's not the starting quarterback yet, so that's another reason why it's tough. But, like, later in his career, he'll have the ability, maybe when he's returning as a starter, of getting the whole offense together and be like, all right, let's go through 2-minute drills on Sunday afternoons, jog through. Like, that is where the veteran side of it comes out. And the best case scenario is he goes out this year, he's the starter for the whole year, and then he gets to do that next year.
Yeah, you're right. I think the big thing is, like, now, and we didn't get to it, but it's like, I hope they are all out there at the same time, because even, like, it's good for, Jake to get the timing. It's good for the third string guy to get the timing. It's just good for a lot of those guys that are younger and the same age to just, 1, bond, 2, feel each other, the speed and everything, and just get better. Like, that's always that competition that's driving. Like, hey, Jake throws a good ball. Well, now Katin wants to come out and throw a better ball. It's like, hey, if I throw a bad ball, like, guys see that when you have a bad day, and then one guy's having a good day. It's like, just keep building that competition and keep building that kind of that brotherhood. It sounds cheesy to say, but really those summer work that's what you build, that relationship, those friendships that go from on the field to off the field. And it goes a long way.
Yeah, no, it does. And, like, those summer nights are some of the best, because, like, especially when you're done, because then it's like it's not 105 anymore. Yeah. It's like 80 outside. Those are some of the best memories that you have, just hanging out with the dudes.
And what's great about this summertime is, like, there's not many, like, on-campus distraction. Like, there's not many girls that can distract you. There's not many, like, other guys that might be your friends outside of football, because most of the kids are home, and it's like, it's just you guys. Like, so if you're gonna do something, you're gonna hang out with your teammates, and we have some good memories.
I was about to say, literally, we'd get the team together. 6:00 Saturday nights. We'd throw. You'd be done for at least a week. We said you'd be done for the week. You have a Sunday off. You'd throw, play a little tennis or foot soccer. Soccer tennis? And then you just go shower, have a couple brewskis with the guys. You'd be together literally all day, though, because you have workout earlier that day and OTA. Then you throw together. Then you go have a couple beers with the boys. But that's where you build that bond. And, like, it sounds crazy, but, like, even having the centers out there just snapping the ball during 7-on-7, like, that builds a bond too. Mm-hmm. And he is very lucky, because our center, Dustin, is supposed to be really, really smart from everything I've heard. And for a young quarterback to come in and have an older center, that's huge for him.
Oh yeah, the center quarterback relationship goes a long way, especially when you're making the calls. I think the biggest, and I don't know how many people actually realize this outside of, like, people who actually play quarterback. The hardest job of playing quarterback is the protection. If you can't call the protection, you're getting hit, you're getting blown up, you're not completing any balls. And having a veteran center that can help you call that protection and, feed off that and, like, maybe, like, check it on you, it's like, that's something that's great to have as a young quarterback, and you would know a lot of.
Yeah, so I'll say that's why I told him the advice about meet with the center, or at least the starting center, hopefully the backup, 2 Wednesday nights after practice. Because once you get to Wednesday nights, like, Thursdays are the easy, like, that's the 2-minute drill. By the time you get to the 2-minute drill on Thursday, you should be pretty much done with. Like, you should have seen all the film. You should have seen all the looks. That's why Thursday night, you sit down with the starting center, and you're like, all right, what do you see here? Here's what I see here. If I can't re-ID this, you need to know to re-ID this before. So hopefully by the time you get to a game, if there's a blitz coming that needs to be re-ID'd, as soon as you start pointing it out, the center's already made the move. And it's just like you were thinking together. And that's just something a young quarterback probably won't do early in the year, especially. And look, he has experience, but he's also still a young kid. But hopefully by the end of the year or mid-game through by conference play, really he should be thinking the same as him. That's another thing. He hasn't played games with Dustin before, and Dustin, I don't even think, played center that much last year. So it's just little things like that is going to, nuances are going to, hopefully by the App State game, you got to be ready to roll then.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. So that center quarterback relationship is huge, and I think it's one that's highly overlooked by just your common football viewers and common football fans.
Yeah, Earl, what did you think of the interview?
Yeah, it was interesting. I wanted to try to pick up on some points that he was making out there, and one of them was listening to when you said, "Oh, what receivers you feel like you have a decent," and he was listing off the couple guys or whatever for people who maybe, like, from the betting perspective now, player props. And you're like, oh, he likes to maybe target this guy more than this guy, or his go-to receiver is going to be so-and-so. maybe you can use that a little bit to your advantage there. Also, I like hearing we've had Big Tay, we've had Coach Houston and Houser as well. They all listed the same thing as the team goal was that conference or with the conference championship. We brought it up during the Houston show, 18-1. I love how they're all bringing that one up as well as that. That's like the goal for this year, and it's not we want to win this many games. We want to do this. We want to win the conference championship. So he also brought the long shot goal of making the playoffs, 100-1 on DraftKings to make the playoffs. So there's that as well. But yeah,
the question is, even if we don't go undefeated, if you make the conference championship and win it, are we in?
I don't know. I think it's going to get super political there. So you know what you already saw what the 14 playoff did. They're probably my biggest fear is I think you should take the best G5 school, no doubt. I think the best G5 school with the best record or at least win their conference. Like let's see who the best G5 conference winner is and let them go. I just think like my biggest fear is let's say someone goes 11-1, maybe they lose one game. Like let's say we lose one to Liberty or App. That's the only game we lose. And they try to put in like a Big Ten or SEC school. That's my biggest fear. I hope they do that, but it's like they're going to go off viewership. They're going to go off money. It's going to get highly political. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
I think the conference, I think we lost a lot of respect when we lost the teams that we lost. And then the teams that we do have now I don't think are as good. I think the Sun Belt slowly is gaining the more respect. I've been very vocal about that on the show. Look, we have a big game versus App early in the year and versus Liberty early in the year. So, like, those are big games in the aspect of conference realignments and all that.
As well.
Old Dominion. Yeah, so, like, there's a lot of big games in there. And Old Dominion is going to be a tough one. We haven't talked about that. Like, Old Dominion is not going to be a layover game. Like, that's going to be a tough game for us to play. So, we'll see. I believe there's a chance. I mean, if you go 10-2, win the conference, there's at least an argument there. But Sun Belt champion versus American champion, you just got to see overall records of the total conference is really where it's going to come down to.
You take a 10-2 Sun Belt champion, or maybe like a 10-2 American versus maybe like, let's say a 10-2 Penn State.
No.
Or a 10-2.
But see, there's 12 teams to where hopefully you take both.
Exactly. It just depends. I think it's going to vary each year off how good teams are doing. Like how many 1-loss teams are there? How many 2-loss teams are there? And based on the conferences. I don't know. My biggest fear is I just wish the at-large goes to a G5 conference. Probably not. We're not guaranteed that. That's just my biggest wish.
Yeah, I hope so. I want to give a shout-out to Clean Eats. Look, if you want to eat clean, they're the place to do it. You can go dine in. You can get pre-made meals. You can meal plan. They got shakes, everything in between, and they got good dessert bars too, Caden. Which we're a huge fan of dessert around here. So they got everything in between. They kept me on the field playing great. Literally, I said it before in the previous podcast. The times when I was playing my best on the field was when I was meal prepping with Clean Eats, and I didn't notice it till after. I would have done it the whole time. Great food, clean food, low sugar, Caden.
Yeah, meals all under $8 or less. Great for when the grocery bill is high and you just don't want to cook. Also, Arlington Village is where they're located, and they kept Holton at a lean 215 for multiple years. So go check them out.
They did. Even when I was 230, I was lean when I was eating at Clean Eats. Though Caden swears I was like 245 when I was playing. I was not, boys. I was not 245. But when I was my leanest, I was eating Clean Eats. So shout out to Clean Eats. For supporting the show. Also, shout out to Wayne Hardy Law. Call 1-800-INJURED if you need a lawyer, if you've been in a car accident. He will win your case. Look, the billboards are out there. You know what his face looks like. Call him now. He will win your case, get you money, and treat you like family. That's the Wayne Hardy difference. In Caden, we talked about Mattamuskeet last week. Look, they sent us some college stuff. We come to the studio today, we got a new package, and it says, for your teams. You haven't seen this gear yet. So check out the hat, show everyone. It's a golf hat. So it's the golf.
A nice hat.
So we say that Mattamuskeet has college stuff. They also have golf stuff. They also have country stuff. Check out this polo they sent. Feel the quality of that. Make sure you show the camera
Let me
too.
go over the hat first. This is a nice hat. Nice golf hat if you're out in the golf course. Maybe if you're even running. It's nice mesh for these humid, hot Eastern North Carolina or wherever you're based at, hot summers. So I love the hat. I love the mesh on it. So if you're a head sweater like I am, it just flows right through. And then this polo quality, this is a smooth polo right here. I'm not going to tell you what the fabric is made off because I just don't know. But this is high quality. Nice little stitch in here. What, did it give me an extra large? Oh, it's a large, but we'll see if it fits. Maybe it's a big large. We'll see.
The new thing in golf is like the loose, like dry fit material, and that's what that is.
Yeah.
It feels great.
This is great.
Earl, they sent us some stickers too. Show the sticker to the camera. Look, even if you're just a sticker person, that's a pretty sick sticker. That is their main logo. So shout out to Mattamuskeet Goose Club for supporting the pod. Earl,
Yo.
ECU baseball, the draft. You were pretty hyped coming in here. You were hyping it up. So go ahead. Here's your segment. Talk about the draft. Talk about the players drafted and hopefully drafted by the end of this. We're shooting this on a Monday, day 2 of the draft. So go ahead and talk the draft, MLB draft.
Yeah, we're through 2 days at the MLB draft. The one guy we were expecting to go in the first round did go in the first round.
Pull your mic down a little bit, Earl.
Mic down?
Yep.
Yeah, Trey Savage went 20th overall to the Blue Jays. Kind of disappointed with my Mets passing him up on 19, but that's beyond the point. And then ECU had a big day, too. In the 8th round, 244th overall by the Marlins went JJC, which I believe it was a $217,000 signing bonus.
There we go. Friend of the pod.
And then 269th overall, just 25 picks later, the Cincinnati Reds in the 9th round took catcher Ryan McChrystal. I believe his was around $193,000 signing bonus. And then in the 10th round, Carter Cunningham went 307 to the Toronto Blue Jays as well. So Trey Savage and Carter Cunningham teammates again north of the border. I don't know what his signing bonus was. I didn't look deep in depth with that one there. But big day on day 2 for East Carolina. JJC, McChrystal, and Cunningham all going 8, 9, and 10th round. And then, of course, Trey Savage went first round, 20th overall to the Blue Jays.
Let's go. Congrats to those guys. Could you imagine signing for that, Caden? That would have been nice from the Seattle Seahawks. Give me a whopping $1,000 signing bonus. Shout out to them, though. I mean, ECU baseball is killing it. We're going to have a lot of those alums on in the fall. Alec Burleson, Gavin Williams, Connor Norby, who's killing it. Put him in the pros. What the heck is going on there?
His first hit was a home run.
Yeah.
You just got to leave him up there and let him ball.
I know. So, we'll have those guys on in the fall, especially when they come in. We already talked about it. John David Baker joining us next week. So go ahead and tag us with your questions. Look, we're going to ask him any of the questions you ask. We showed every question that you guys tagged us on X. We asked Kate, and so we're going to continue to do that. Tag any questions you have for John David Baker. Make sure you give us a follow, too, on X, at Holt Ehlers Show. We tweet clips and everything in between of the show. Future guests. We ask you guys questions, poll questions all the time. Keep supporting. Football season's on the way. We got some exciting news, Caden. 2 weeks in a row. Will it be announced next week? We'll see. See you next time.